Hello again, and it's time for another project. Today we're going to do a bit of line routing on this Barney Rubble character from the Flintstones. Just see from there, I did do Fred Flintstone about 4 videos back, and I just wanted his little buddy with him so they can both stand together on the side of the shed. Now, as always for me, we've done our template. The way I'm making these at the moment, because they are a nice size, is literally just to use tracing paper. Now if you Google your image, for this one I would search Barney Rubble colouring pages on the tablet or your laptop. You can basically put your tracing paper over the screen, and I zoom mine in to full size, and I know 5 inches, 5.5 inches, it will fit my 6-inch wide piece of wood, no problem. Just cheap tracing paper. Takes a couple of minutes to do, but it saves you on papers and it saves you with the inks and stuff, because all we want is the outline. Normally I can just print them straight off, but size wise these just fit perfect. So we've done our image, like I say, we've stuck it on there with painter's tape. I like to use carbon paper to go behind. You just pop that underneath. Get yourself a nice pen, pencil. I prefer to use pen just because it shows up easier against the pencil line that you've used to draw the original image out. So we've stuck that down there. We've had our carbon paper underneath. And that's all we need for today. Now he's slightly smaller, should I say, because I wanted him to fit in with Barney. With Fred. I've actually got Fred here. This is one I made a few videos back. So that's basically what we're going for, and they'll fit on the side of the shed. We'll have Barney. It's about the right size for him to go on afterwards. Now depth wise, we are just going to do the lines themselves, so it'll be identical to that one. Lucky enough, we can use this one as our gauge, so I'll simply get our CNC bit. I use this on all my projects for the lines. Normally I would go with end milling bits to clean out, but there is no clean out. We are literally just going to do the black lines around everything. They do have a Dremel size shaft, so they will fit into a Dremel if you want to use a router attachment. If not, if you want to use a 1/4 inch shafted router, you'll need an adapter collet. That's a 6.35 adapter reducer collet, and you're going to pop in a 3.175mm CNC bit. And you pop it into the silver end there, put the darkened bit into your router, then we'll put it on top of this one. We can set it to that nice depth. It's hard to see on here, but that is actually routed out. You can just more or less see where my nails disappearing into the routed up. Maybe about 3mm, maybe a little bit less. But we can set it to the same one. 20mm we're doing today on the CNC bit. They do come in 10, 15s, 30s. I believe there's some 60s out there, like so. So we're literally just going to route out all the lines. Give it a general tidy up. We'll cut it out on a scroll saw just before then. Then we'll put it in some black paint. Give it a nice sanding down. Fill in all those areas that we've just routed out with this CNC bit, with the paint. And then it's just a case of painting it with some acrylics. Okay, we'll pop this in the router itself. We'll do all the lines first, and then we'll cut it out on a scroll saw. You might just notice there, just about see, I just went around with a pencil and drawn that extra line, just so it gives us a nice little border all the way around afterwards. Okay, and then we'll put a slit in the back, but we'll talk about that nearer the time. Okay, we'll set this up and start routing this one out. Right, we've removed all the lines with our 20-degree CNC bit. We just about got away with that. It's definitely an easier option. Just remove the lines and put our black paint in, and then we'll sand it over. Normally on some projects, and it just all depends what you want to do on the day, and it's a personal thing. Sometimes you could remove the full body piece here and just leaving his arms, or inside the mouth, inside the eyes, or whatever. So there's a little bit more work involved. This is an easier option with the black lines, just removing the lines, should I say. But there again, there's a little bit more pressure because you've actually got to follow the lines. You start veering off and coming off at an angle, well, that's it. So you've got to more or less get it right first time if possible. And we've just about got away with that one today, as you can see from that. Now we'll be cleaning this out with a Dremel and an engraving bit, just to get inside these lines, just to make them slightly clear them out a bit more, just so the paint can sit in a little bit easier. Before that, we're just going to cut it out quickly on a scroll saw. Nothing too fantastic on this one. You can see from there, I've drawn a freehand pencil line just for something for us to follow. Remember, we don't want to cut out on that black line. We need that little border all the way around. My choice of blade is a spiral blade. The teeth spiral, the full length of the blade, as you can see from there. I love these blades. They're not for everybody, and they do take a little getting used to. The good thing about spiral blades, they cut in any direction. So we could literally just start there, like so. Come in on the saw, and literally just cut that round, like that. Basically just moving your wood, like so. Whereas your normal standard blades, we'll take a pin blade here. This one's called pin blades, pin straight blades, because obviously they have a pin at both ends. They go on your cheaper saws. When you place these in the scroll saw, you want the teeth facing towards you. It wants to be smooth on the way down and rough on the way up. Now if you're going to use this, you would have that on your saw like so. You would have to come in there, turn that wood. Remember, because that blade's going to be facing you. You would cut all the way down there. And then you would have to turn your wood, turn your wood, turn your wood, and so on all the way around. A lot of turning and twisting. People prefer the straight blade. And just a quick one here. This is a pinless blade. Really, really small is that one. We might just get it in there. There we go. Just about see that. There's actually teeth on there. It's that small. These are fantastic if you're cutting inner sections. If you imagine when you cut inside there, you'll drill a pilot hole, pop that in, and cut that section out. Obviously with pin blades, you just wouldn't get in there. So it's a personal thing again. I just prefer the scroll saw blade. On my old Drapper, I do have to use these adapter clamps. They're a pain sometimes, but once you get into a little routine, you can soon get it set up each time. Okay, we'll pop this on the scroll saw now, and we're just going to cut round this, and then we'll get our Dremel with a flexi cable on, and just start cleaning out inside these lines, and then we'll be on for painting our black. Right, we've made it all the way around with our spiral blade, as you can see from that. So that's cut out nicely. Struggled a little bit today, it's a little bit jumpy in places. You can see from that, the odd little nick there. I think the blade's about worn away, so we'll pop a new blade in for the next project. But apart from that, just a general bit of sanding down. And you can see from there, his foot's just broken off. Oh dear. Never mind. We'll pop a bit of glue on that. And we'll soon have that back in place, no problem whatsoever. So ignore the missing toe for now. We'll pretend it never happened. Anyways, general tidy up now. I will go around with a flexi cable on the end of a Dremel. I like to use these engraving bits. Just cheap engraving bits off eBay. If you put in Dremel engraving bits, you'll get a packet of those 30 plus for next to nothing. What we'll do, we'll just get one with a nice pointed end on it, like so. And we're just going to go inside, just give it a general tidy up, just get it a bit more straighter and make those grooves a little bit better, as you can see from there, just so the paint can sit inside a lot better. And once that's all nicely done, we'll round it off gently, get these fluffy bits off the side, general tidy up like so. And then obviously we'll stick the toe back on again, throw in some paint and then give it a sanding over. Okay, let's tidy it up now. Right, it's painting time now. You can see from that we've repaired his little toes, so he's ready to go now. So all you got to do next is literally just put our black paint into the routed out areas. Once that's nicely dry, we'll give it a quick sanding over with a mouse sander just to clear the wood back again, and then we use these just cheap acrylic paints. Mine are Crawford and black. A little bit of watering to make more of a stain than actual paint, and just let it soak into the wood a little bit. And it comes out really nice once we spray a bit of clear on top. Now for the black itself, I'm just going to use Painter's Touch paint, nothing fantastic. Get a decent stiff brush, should I say, just because you've got to get right down inside those cracks here. And you might find you go over it and there's a little bit showing, then let's just go over it again. So it's just simply a case of throwing it in like so. You could spray this just as quick if you prefer to spray. I just prefer to use a paint and a paintbrush. And that's going to be about as easy as it can get. So we'll go around, finish this off, get right inside those joints here, and then we'll come back when we've sanded it and put the rest of the colours on. Right, that's it. This little project is finished. Like you can see from that, it's got a nice shine to him. I started off with the yacht varnish and I finished off with my crystal clear, only because I've run out of the yacht varnish. So either or, they both do the same job. So we've got a nice shine to him. It's a little bit more protection with it going outside. It won't be the best sealant to use, but it works for me for my little project. Just a case of finding out what works best for you. So there's Barney Rubble is finished. It's 10 inches high by 5 inches across. Routed out the black lines on rough fencing wood. Then we cut out with a scroll saw blade, a pegas spiral number 5, and then we used acrylic paint to paint him with, and then we sprayed over with a bit of yacht varnish and crystal clear to finish it off. And that's it. This one is finished. We'll go and find a space for him with his mate Fred Flintstone on the shed. Thank you very much for watching.